Hey everybody. So let's say that you are working with a client and at your first meeting with them, they give you a drawing. They give you a pencil drawing, let's say, that they or one of their colleagues have done. And they're like, we want this to be the basis of our logo. This happens very, very often in design. It all begins with a simple sketch, and then that sketch needs to be digitized. So I'm going to show you, what I would do in that situation. So I have Illustrator opened up right now, and I'm going to place the sketch that this client has given me. And I found this sketch through Google. So, all right, here we go. That's pretty fun. Maybe they are opening a doggy spa or a doggy daycare. I don't know. Looks good. I've got my layers panel open right now, which is good, and I'm going to keep dragging out, hold shift down. That constrains the proportions. Here we go. Okay, so I have my image placed, which means that it's not embedded, it's just a linked file. And for now, that's okay with it being linked. I just want to make sure that I don't move the original file anywhere on my computer, or else I'll have to update my link. So I'm going to double click on this layer, and I'm going to say template, and I'm going to lock it. And I'm going to dim my images. I'll dim this to like 70% because it's just a kind of sketchy rendering, and I want to be able to see it. But this template layer, locks it in place. You see, if I take my pen tool and I try drawing, nothing's happening. That's because this layer is locked. So if you run into that problem when you're working on your illustrations, that's why. So you need to create a new layer down here, and here now I can draw. Okay, so where would I start? First off, I don't want to fill. I don't want to use a fill yet. I'm just going to kind of try to get these basic shapes down. Like maybe I'll do the dog's head first. I'll use my ellipse tool, click and drag something out, and then I'll go in and kind of add to this. Add some detailing. And you'll see that as you work and keep adding elements into your drawing, that you'll have these sublayers that start to be created, and I'll show you those in a second. So right now I'm clicking, I'm dragging out, I can see the control handles, and I'm going for trying to use as little anchor points as I can to complete these shapes. And as I work, I'm looking, a lot of this like figuring out where to place your anchor points just comes from experience. You can look for a distinguishable change in direction of whatever you are tracing, so something that is changing directions, either going up or to the side or down from where you are. So right now I have a control handle here, and I'm going to use my left hand, my keyboard. I'm going to hold down Option, and that allows me to either lengthen or shorten and change the direction of the arc that I'm drawing. So if I shorten this control handle, the angle won't be as drastic as if I drag my control handle all the way out here. I'll have a really drastic angle and line drawn. So this also just comes from experience and working with the tool, and I'm changing the direction a little bit downward, and I think I'll put another anchor point here. Yeah, that looks good. And so when I work with the pen tool, I am constantly working with both hands. I use my right hand on the mouse, and then I have my left hand hovering over the Option key. And I'm trying to use as little anchor points as possible. So right now I'm just drawing out these kind of larger shapes. And as I work through it, I will and start to fill everything in. That's when the order of your sublayers really comes in. So after I finish this shape, if you make a mistake, like you can see here, if I put an anchor point right here, I've got this weird curve happening. So I just do Command Z, start again, I'll put an anchor point there, that's better. Use my option tool and click and drag there. And I didn't close my path, there we go, now it's closed. So if I open up this layer 2, you can see I have all of these sublayers, all these different paths that I have created. And if I can always turn off my my template layer and see how I'm doing so far. Right now things are looking pretty primitive and kind of scary and not right, but that's okay because I'm going to keep working through it and finessing everything, and maybe I'll add in a gradient in the sunglasses when I start filling things in and make this look reflective without having to draw in all the lines. Same with the inside of the ears. Maybe I'll use a pink gradient on the inside of the ears or something and just add some wispy lines to suggest the hair. But you really have to just keep going and keep drawing. Create your closed paths. You don't want to use open paths, especially for an area that needs to be filled in. And you do want to fill in, this snout shape right here, I would draw as a complete shape. I wouldn't just draw the outline of it. And you're tracing over a sketch, especially in the exercises that you'll be doing, it might not be possible to be totally exact from how things were, but it's just something that, again, the more that you practice, the better that you get. Now this bottom of the dog here, I'm not even going to try to go along this neckline. I'm just going to connect my path there, and this shape that I've drawn, I will move all the way to the bottom layer. So let me fill this in real quick. So if I click and drag and move this down, it'll be behind the face and the tongue and everything else, the sunglasses, because it's on the bottom layer. So that's how you can work with layers too, to kind of not make shortcuts for yourself, but just thinking strategically about how you can utilize the organization that Illustrator has to offer to save you some time drawing, and then you can get more detailed. Okay, so there's another